Welcome to our virtual presentation of the Cincinnati Art Museum's exhibition, Frank Duveneck, American Master. I'm Julie Aronson, curator of American Painting, Sculpture, and Drawings. This exhibition is the first in more than 30 years to take an in-depth look at this influential American artist and educator. It celebrates Cincinnati's extensive collection of the artist's work and features loans from collections across the U.S. Frank Duveneck was a native of Covington, Kentucky, born in 1848 to a German immigrant family. At the age of 14, he entered an apprenticeship making paintings and sculptural decoration for Catholic churches. In 1870, he departed for Munich, where he was among the first American artists to enroll at the Royal Academy. The exhibition unfolds with early drawings and paintings that reveal Duveneck's prodigious talent and rapid rise. The Dutch and Spanish artists of the Baroque era became his leading lights as he forged a dark realism with bravura paint handling and fresh expressiveness. Avoiding the meticulous detail and sentimentality popular at the time, Duveneck took a more adventurous path. 3 bold paintings of working-class boys made progressively over 5 years trace his development. At left is the Whistling Boy of 1872, whose sketchiness gave way to fuller representations, brazen and bursting with personality. When Duveneck returned home from 1873 to 5, an exhibition of his realist portraits in Boston startled and impressed viewers like Henry James, who penned several brilliant reviews. In Cincinnati, Duveneck for the first time made his mark as a riveting teacher, galvanizing his students with his direct approach and keen love of paint. In 1875, he returned to Munich and made several visits to the country village of Poling. Notable for their freedom are a series of oil and watercolor landscapes in which Duveneck beautifully captures the special qualities of light and revels in nature. The human figure, nevertheless, was the cornerstone of his work. Although today we recognize the dehumanizing effect of depicting people as exotic types, Duveneck avoided demeaning narratives, instead focusing on the beauty, character, and masculinity of his models. It's fascinating to compare Duveneck's painting The Turkish Page, which you see at the left, with the version his cohort, William Merritt Chase, made when working side by side. Duveneck shows the thin boy in a sprawling pose and chose a more restrained palette. The experimental Duveneck explored printmaking in the 1880s after moving from Munich to Italy. At art-making parties, he created monotypes, unique impressions in which he broadly handled the medium. In etchings, an extension of his lifelong enthusiasm for drawing, he explored Venetian street life and architecture in fine detail. In Italy, Duveneck left his bold painting techniques and dark palette behind him. To avoid obsolescence as Impressionism became popular, he changed his style dramatically. In the large water carrier's Venice, he explored a vignette of daily life in outdoor air with an array of delectable pastel hues. The recognizable landmarks in the background would have appealed to tourist collectors. Duveneck's paintings of pretty country women in the sun or selling flowers could hardly differ more from the robust work for which he'd become famous. The prolonged love affair of Frank Duveneck and his pupil Elizabeth Boot was a classic case of opposites attract. Sadly, their romance ended tragically when Elizabeth died of pneumonia on their second wedding anniversary. Frank returned to the United States and made a serene bronze effigy for her grave in Florence, Italy, his first work in sculpture. Duveneck gave this plaster model to the museum in 1895. In his later years, Duveneck was a revered teacher at the Art Academy of Cincinnati, but he also continued working. In the large pastel Siesta, a nude woman lays atop a rumpled bed in a pose of false modesty. Theodore Foucault bought the pastel to hang in his saloon downtown. When a scandal erupted over impropriety, he donated the nude to the art museum. What do you think of that? I hope you've enjoyed this peek at Frank Duveneck, American Master.